Welcome to Asian American Life. I'm your host, Ernabel Demillo. We start the new year celebrating Asian American trailblazers, from social historical leaders to entertainers who are changing the media landscape. Here's a look at what's ahead. Lessons learned. I share Larry Itliong's journey for justice. Mike Gilliam meets the millennial who's saving the environment one piece at a time. Open mic. Rayner Ramirez catches up with Asian American comedians. And Minnie Roh reports on the launch of I First Saw Myself campaign. Asian American history isn't usually taught in traditional history classes, but one woman is hoping to change all that with her journey for justice. Book Expo America at the Jacob Javits Center is one of the most popular and prestigious book fairs in the world. This is where publishers, bookstore owners, and librarians can discover new books, and where fans can meet their favorite authors. This past fair included many authors of color, like Nafisa Azad, whose debut YA novel, The Candle and the Flame, celebrates diversity and multiculturalism.
As someone who has moved, who's an immigrant, the city of Noor is the city of the displaced. It is populated, peopled by people who are running away from persecution from their own countries. I wanted it to be a commentary on the status of minorities, and because when I was writing it, there was a lot of toxic narrative on minorities in the media.
The main character is a strong young Muslim female, a reflection of the author.
And I also wanted to talk about identities, because as an immigrant, as someone whose ancestors have been moved from place to place, I still struggle with the question of who am I.
We also met Gail Galligan, the illustrator of the graphic novel Boy Crazy Stacy, part of the popular Babysitters Club series.
Why should you read Boy Crazy Stacy? Because it's so much fun.
Galligan, who is Thai American, grew up reading the books, which featured an Asian American character, Claudia Kishi.
I was a huge fan of the Babysitters Club growing up, and I still remember like the first time I was reading the books and I got to Claudia, I read a few more pages and then I stopped and I had to flip back and read it one more time, wait, she's not white.
Today, Galligan knows that her voice can inspire others.
This is something that I've wanted for a long time and wanted to work for, not just to share my own stories, but also to be in a position where I can help elevate the voices of others that need to be heard. It's something that's really important to me, and it's something I think about a lot.
Azad and Galligan are part of a growing wave of Asian and Asian Americans finding their place in mainstream children and YA publishing. But there are still some stories not being told.
And the next day, more than 500 Filipino workers demanded a 5-cent raise. Until they got it, they refused to work. Larry joined the strike too.
Missing at the book fair was children's book author Gail Romasanta. She is co-author of a new children's book, Journey for Justice, The Life of Larry Itliong.
I just knew that the community needed a book like this because my kids needed a book like this, and I could not be the only parent wanting this book to happen.
The book is the first children's history book about a Filipino American.
We need to look deeply and understand our Filipino American history here as Filipino Americans. As immigrants, as those who are born here, we should put a claim on that and be proud of our history, and that is part of American history.
Even with diversity efforts in the publishing industry, the numbers are still low. According to the most recent study by the Cooperative Children's Book Center for Education, white authors are still mostly telling diverse stories rather than people of color. Meanwhile, 10% of children's books featured African American characters, 7% featured Asian and Pacific Island characters, 5% featured Latino characters, and 1% featured Native Americans. Many authors of color, like Roman Santa, are no longer waiting for mainstream publishers to open their door. They are building their own doors. Roma Santa and her co-author Don Mabalon started their own publishing company called Bridge and Delta.
We didn't want to wait for permission to tell the story either. We did not want to wait for a publishing house to say, yes, we want this story, because we knew that if Larry had been gone for over 40 years now and the book still wasn't out yet and publishers still weren't looking for anybody to write it.
Invest in creating the first ever Filipino-American history books for children.
Through a public fundraising campaign, they raised enough to publish their first book, one that tells the story of Filipino farm worker and activist Larry Itliong. He is considered one of the major leaders of the farm labor movement, but his story was long forgotten until recently, thanks to historians like Mabalon, who grew up in Delano, California, and whose family worked the farms. Sadly, the day her children's book was finished, Mabalon died while on vacation in Hawaii.
On the day that we had the hard copy proofs, she approved them because we were going back and forth editing them. We were texting back and forth. I had woken her up and she was like, oh, I'm the only one awake right now. And I was like, I'm so sorry I woke you, but we're good to go. And then she gave me a checklist, like, did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? And I was like, yep, we're all good. And we were texting with Andre Sabayan, the illustrator, and we were like, yay, we're done. And I said, okay, I'm gonna mail this. I'm gonna mail this back to the printer. We're good to go.
Her death was devastating to the community, but Mabalon's legacy continues to be felt as Roma Santa and the book's illustrator, Andre Sabayan, travel across the country on a self-funded book tour.
Do you feel her presence, her spirit?
Oh, all the time. I talk to her all the time in my head, and I really honestly feel like I'm even closer to her now than I was when she was here. I feel like our friendship is on a different plane now, and she totally understands, and I always ask for her guidance.
Roma Santa is not done telling the Filipino-American story. Bridge and Delta is working on the next children's book, one featuring the Olympic diver Vicky Manalo-Draves, and the other featuring the leading Filipino-American historian, Professor Don Mabalon. I'm Ernabel Demillo for Asian American Life.
The fashion industry has a waste problem, but Mike Gilliam introduces us to an entrepreneur who shows us how to recycle textiles.
Camille Tagle was a fashion designer with a notable career. You might recognize some of her fashions that went from the drawing board to the red carpet, worn by stars like Maya Rudolph. But that career is behind her. Now she's one of the key people heading up something called Fab Scrap.
Fabscrap is a nonprofit organization, and our one mission is to keep fabric out of landfill.
This Asian American designer turned sustainability champion is from Southern California. Her father is Filipino, her mother Chinese, but she didn't catch the fashion bug from her parents. They have no background in fashion or nonprofits.
They have never had a family member that was at all interested in fashion and never had a family member that had any experience in nonprofits. They were used to the more traditional occupations like, medicine and banking or finance.
They pushed Camille to get a 4-year degree, saying once that was completed, she could do whatever she wanted. She graduated from UCLA, and it was while she was interning at the company Guess that her bosses discovered her talent. It happened when she was working on a final internship project for fashion buyers, and as part of her proposal, she had to design a line of clothing.
They were shocked at what I was able to create, and these are senior executives of the buying Guest team, and they had actually wanted to put them into production at that point. So I definitely got validation at a young age that maybe I was cut out for the job.
But while working as a designer, creating evening wear, which is often worn just once, she realized the waste involved in the industry, whether it be from cutting from patterns or just changing fabrics in midstream for a myriad of reasons. She says she decided she had to do something about it. Camille linked up with Jessica Schreiber, the founder of Fab Scrap, and joined their mission of keeping as much fabric as possible out of landfills.
I'm really blown away by the size of these piles here. I mean, how much is this?
This is quite a bit of fabric. It's about 60,000 pounds.
This is the Fab Scrap warehouse at the Brooklyn Army Terminal, where all of the fabric to be recycled is taken. Here's how it works. When a company signs up, they get two types of bags to put their scraps in. Black bags for scraps that have identifying patterns or logos that can't be recycled and must be shredded, and brown bags for fabric that can be recycled. When the bags are full, the company calls for a pickup, and all of the stuff is brought to the warehouse at the Brooklyn Army Terminal to be sorted.
Some of that stuff that has logos on it and that sort of thing can't be recycled and sent back out, right?
Yeah, those items would be considered proprietary because they have some sort of intellectual property with them. So what we can do with those pieces and with any pieces that are a little bit too difficult to reuse, maybe they're very small, we actually downcycle into what is called shoddy. And shoddy is what is actually used for different types of insulation as well. So we're talking about insulation for car doors, for moving blankets.
The larger pieces end up either going to volunteers who get free fabric for working at Fab Scrap or are sold at thrift shop rates. They also have leather, lace, trim, buttons, and other items used by fashion designers. Because Fab Scrap is a nonprofit, all of the money raised through sales and donations is funneled back into the organization to be used in their effort. Since Fab Scrap opened in 2016, they say they've saved 458,000 pounds of material from landfills. But there's more. In June, Fab Scrap opened the Fab Scrap shop on the edge of the Garment District in Manhattan. The idea was to get closer to people working in the fashion industry. The shop looks like an upscale fabric shop in the city, but it's a thrift shop. The prices are right, and they make sure customers are aware of the Fab Scrap message.
This equation actually easily illustrates for them, okay, you are making an impact. Even if you're just shopping, you are taking part in this effort to divert fabrics from landfill, and this is your actual impact. So what we do when people check out is we actually weigh every single purchase, and we tell that customer, okay, you've actually saved 5 pounds from landfill today, or you've saved 25 pounds from landfill, and they're able to kind of do the math and understand like what that actually means.
The Fab Scrap shop is located on West 26th Street between 6th and 7th. And Camille says they hope to open more shops in the U.S. and globally. She also hopes her legacy will be that she did her part for the planet. I'm Mike Gilliam for Asian American Life.
Joe Coy, Aziz Ansari, and Ronnie Cheng are just a few Asian American comedians who have dropped specials on streaming services. They're not alone. There's a whole new generation of emerging Asian American comedians who are taking tired old stereotypes and flipping it on its head.
I came to America for college. I went to Indiana, and the first thing I learned was that, man, y'all cannot tell Asians apart. I learned this because back in college, when I go to the bars with my Asian posse, we could all get in with just one ID.
With her deadpan delivery, Jocelyn Chia is one of many up-and-coming Asian American stand-up comics taking center stage.
Most comedians starting out will always go personal. So if we are a minority living in America, something personal that's unique to us that has shaped our experience in our life will probably be something that we will go to.
Chia left her career as a corporate lawyer 7 years ago to pursue her calling, and she's been making a living touring across the U.S. and in Asia ever since.
I had an American boyfriend in college. His name was Michael. He went to Harvard, and my mom didn't like that he was a white guy, but he went to Harvard, right? So that makes him half Asian.
The rise of Asian American comics has been dramatic.
John Borromeo is the chief of staff at Stand Up New York, and he also happens to be the only Asian American who books comedians in New York City. Borromeo says he started booking more Asian American comedians to capitalize on this recent boom in the comic industry.
And I really did it as a money grab first and foremost, and I'll be completely honest with you. But there was something that after booking Asian comedy, I felt a connection. And it was a connection that I felt because it was somebody that looked like me that was on stage. And it didn't become about laughing at, jokes about, your family or getting good grades. It became finding comics with a voice up there that were funny and they just happen to look like you.
Brian Yang, Jocelyn Chia, and Ed Pokropsky were among the very first Asian American comedians Borromeo booked at Stand Up New York.
Only Asian booker that I know in this town, and celebrating 3 years here, yeah. And you guys are three faces that were like some of the first faces that I kind of saw when I was coming up here. Brian, you are one of the most woke comics in our town right now. You don't play into the stereotypes that are of our community. You go beyond that. You're not just an Asian American comic, you're a comic that happens to be Asian.
Yeah, I think we are, we're like this thing that everyone knows. Like the stereotypes are all out there, so we don't have to say them, right? The expectation's there. So now I can just knock them down.
The son of Hmong immigrants, Yang says he always knew he was funny when he was a kid, but a career in entertainment was beyond his dreams.
My parents are immigrants, so there's not this thing of like, oh, like it's possible for you to go into the arts or be an entertainer. They want very like tactile jobs that you can see every day, like a pharmacist, a writer, a doctor, a lawyer. Like those are jobs that feel more like real to immigrant parents, I think. Anything on the TV is like fantasy land.
And I went to get Chipotle before the show, and the guy gave me my burrito, and then he looked at me and he goes, "You're Chinese." And I was like, "No." And then he goes, "Oh, how come?"
Stand-up comedy was a way for me to say, I want to try to speak in my own voice in this way, tell my own stories.
My name is really Ed Pokropsky. That's my real name, last name Pokropsky. Both my parents are super white. I'm adopted. So I have fun with them, and I usually say, well, my parents bought an Asian kid the same reason they bought an Asian car. Higher performance, lower cost.
Ed Pokropsky is just 3 years in the comedy circuit, and he started a monthly comedy show featuring Asian American comedians called Unwashed.
The idea of getting more Asian Americans on film and television is still very much in its infancy. If you look at the vast landscape of media and where we still are carved, it's minuscule.
Asian Americans are one of the fastest growing populations in the U.S., but a recent study found that Asian Americans represent less than 1% of leading roles in Hollywood.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of ask is, our people, we are a cautious optimism, you know what I mean? Is Crazy Rich Asians #1 in the box office? Ronnie Chang, Awkwafina, Bowen Yang. Is it gonna pop for us?
If you put out excellent product, people are gonna buy it, and I think that's something that we strive for. We strive for excellence.
I think the talent pool is there. What needs to change is we need more Johns. Because the gatekeepers have to look like us.
A rising tide lifts all boats, right? So the more everyone rises, and the more the people that were helped by the first two can help others. So it's like a great symbiotic relationship of support and rising up together.
Asian comedian destroys America. Starring stand-up's most ruthless comedian, Ronnie Chang. He's coming after the US of A. in Uncle Sam's own backyard. Nothing can stop his merciless pursuit. It's the comedy event that will decimate American society.
In other words, when one Asian comedian destroys America, more will follow. You can check out these Asian American comedians and others at the monthly comedy special at Stand Up New York called Unwashed. For Asian American Life, I'm Rayner Ramirez.
I'm Minnie Roh. Hashtag I First Saw Myself is a campaign on Instagram that asks the question, when did you first see yourself represented? Was it in a character on TV or in the movies? Perhaps it was a teacher, or in my case, a newscaster I admire. The hashtag was created by an Asian American choreographer who wanted to shine a spotlight on diversity, particularly in the theater and entertainment world. But really, it's a question that can be asked of anyone who has ever searched for a role model.
March, we've been dating for over a year now, and I think it's about time people met my beautiful girlfriend.
The popularity of movies like Crazy Rich Asians and shows like Fresh Off the Boat are creating a surge of hope within the Asian American community that the tide is finally turning.
I think this is a great time to be Asian American. We are gaining more influence in the entertainment business.
John Hoche has been an actor for over 2 decades, most recently appearing in the production of the musical Soft Power at New York City's Public Theater, which boasted a predominantly Asian American cast and crew. But for years, Hoche says he endured typecasting and found a lack of quality roles available to him as an Asian.
So when I go into auditions, primarily it's for tech people, terrorists. Those are kind of the roles that I feel they're like, oh, well, these are, you know, we can't fill like the lead roles or like the majority of like the principal roles with minorities. So we'll just like kind of color the background.
When you don't see yourself represented, whether it's on stage or whether it's the creative team, the production team, then you don't feel like you have a place. You feel like you don't belong there.
Sunny Hitt is a choreographer who worked on Soft Power, which also played in San Francisco and Los Angeles. When Soft Power took its final bow in November of 2019 at the Public Theater, Hitt created hashtag I First Saw Myself, hoping that social media could propel the show to a larger stage, not just because of the multi-talented Asian American cast and crew, but because of what the show represented.
The response that I was getting from Asian Americans who were seeing the show and the power that it was for them, how powerful it was for them to see themselves represented on stage.
At first, it was just a few of her Soft Power peers and friends who shared on Instagram. But slowly, the hashtag began to trickle outward within the larger Asian American community.
We've had people who are on the Miss Saigon tour out on the West Coast post about it.
Miss Saigon, Here Lies Love. Characters like the Yellow Power Ranger, Mr. Hyun in Hey Arnold, and Leah Salonga as Fantine in Les Miserables. These were all high on the list of inspirations. For Hitt, it was Claudia from the Babysitters Club and Margaret Cho on All American Girl when she first saw herself represented.
Hey, why is he wrong for me? And I hope you've got something better than he's not Korean.
I do. He's American.
You know, I grew up in a very rural area, very white community. White culture was the dominant force. For much of my childhood, I felt like I identified as white and was very confused at times with how to integrate the Korean side of myself. It is for anyone who feels other in any way. You know, maybe it speaks to someone who is non-binary and doesn't go by she, he, but goes by they, and or they're trans, let's say, and they want to see more people like them in positions of power, on stage, on screen, in books, in stories, so that it is normalized, you know? It isn't other, it's not minority, it's normal.
Hoche says he first saw himself while watching Ernie Reyes Jr. as a martial arts powerhouse in a show called Sidekicks, and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, on the World Wrestling Federation.
When I first, saw The Rock debut in WWE, I literally was like, is this guy Filipino? Is this guy the same as me? He was really a bridge, and that's kind of what I like to kind of consider myself, or like people of mixed descent. We're not, it's not a bad thing. We're a bridge between two cultures.
Even I joined in. My moment was watching news anchor Heidi Tong and realizing that I too could have a seat at that table.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about this movement that Sunny has created is it really starts a dialogue, and it starts us thinking about how we haven't been represented very well. And I hope that it shows people in power that, wow, we're really doing a disservice to a huge majority of people, and that it can change.
And as a choreographer, Hit hopes that one day she too can serve as an inspiration to future generations.
To see me in that role was going to mean something for them. You know, it was something that I didn't have growing up, but that I can be for other people.
Sunny Hit hopes that her hashtag will play an active role in continuing the conversation on Asian representation. I'm Minnie Roh for Asian American Life.
That's our show for now. If you want more information on all our stories, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Asian American Life. I'm Ernabel Demillo. We'll see you next time.